Hey guys, Mixed Media Girl here. In this video, I'm doing an acrylic pour, rose pour, and this is actually a combination technique with a bottle bottom pour and a kiss pour, and it's really fun. So to start off with, I'm using my cake spinner. On top of the cake spinner, I have a plastic shower cap, and that helps to protect it. And then I like to tape down my canvas with some double-sided foam sticky tape. Technically, it could stay on there by itself, but this gives me some additional insurance that it's not going to go flying. I'm using a 12 by 12 inch canvas, and all of the paints that I'm using are Mixed Media Girl pouring paints. So I'm starting off with a variety of greens in a larger cup here, and that's going to be for my leaves for the rose. So I'm using some meadow green, everglade green, electric lime, a little bit of Caribbean teal, white, and then also some golden sun in here. And I like to use a variety of the light and the darker colors so that it has some contrast and it's not just one solid color for the leaves. I filled that cup up to about 4 to 5 ounces full, and then I am using 2 little 3-ounce cups here for the colors for my rose. And on these, I like to do kind of light on one side and dark on the other, so that once again I get some contrast, but that's totally up to you. There's not necessarily a wrong way to do it. The trick with this though is to use very, very tiny amounts of each color, and you really don't need a lot. So I wanted to go for kind of a peachy yellow rose. Those are my favorite actually. And so I used a little bit of the primary yellow, a little bit of peachy coral, a little bit of golden sun. And on the darker side, I've got some Merlot as well. And then some white for contrast, additional contrast in there. And these cups, I'm filling up about halfway full, but you do not need all of this paint. So once I've got my cups all ready, I take my largest bottle bottom, which is the 4-inch one, and I pour over that to make my leaves. It's important that you've poured your little cups before you do this step though, because you need to use them right away after you're done with this step before the circle that will be in the middle closes up. Now, it's honestly been a while since I did a rose pour before I did this video. So I did make a mistake here and I'll explain it, and then I actually redid it in the same video, but I should have used more paint for the greens and less paint for the rose. So once you're done with your bottle bottom pour, you immediately pull it off and then do your rose, and it does not take a lot of paint. Like, I should have stopped a few points here, and you can already kind of tell that the rose is just a little bit too big. But you'll really see it when I spin it out, and that's okay. It happens. I'm not perfect every time. It's still not bad, but I could already tell that this wasn't going to come out how I wanted it to. I put a little bit of paint around the border so that it didn't have to stretch it as much. You'll be kind of surprised at how large that rose will get. So the extra paint here is going to help. After this, I spun it out a few times to get my canvas covered and stretch out that design. Don't worry about the paint splashing everywhere. It's really not going to, depending on how hard you spin it. I don't spin it that hard, and you can probably see the paint really just goes out maybe about 8 inches or so. So I don't even put up anything to block it. It's not typically a big deal, and I do reuse that paint that is on the table as well in case you are worried about that. So you can kind of see now that I've spun it out, that rose takes over most of the picture, which is not how I would like it to be. So I immediately redid it, and unfortunately I didn't film this time pouring the green on there. I thought I had started the camera, but I had not. But you can kind of already see here that I put more green, and I put a lot less of that peachy yellow color in the middle. So the rose looks tiny now, but when I spin it out, it should be pretty perfect. I did pour my green a little unevenly this time though, so I had to tilt it to center it a little better before spinning it out. And that's just something I would recommend to do if you pour it on here a little bit unevenly. It's not required though. And this one honestly came out pretty perfectly. So in case you're unfamiliar with a kiss pour, you take 2 cups of paint and you have them touch mid-air as you're pouring. So essentially the paints kiss. And with the rose specifically, I like to try to not hold my hands very steady. Like I have them go a little bit wobbly. I think that gives the rose a little more character and it's not as perfect. And you can also, if you have a lot of coordination, you can do a tree ring as you're doing the kiss pour. Totally up to you. That just takes quite a bit of coordination. So here's the first one. Once again, not bad. It just, the rose is way bigger than I wanted and the edges are a little too clean and perfect. So hence why I wanted to redo it, but still pretty. And here's the second one. Much better, I think. The rose is a great size. The edges aren't quite as perfect. And the leaves, I think, came out even better as well on this second one. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you all next time.